What we're looking at in this photo is the original home that was built in 1874 by Frederick Bartruff, who homesteaded the Prairie Canyon Ranch in 1867 with his wife Barbra. They were German immigrants, and he built that house as the main ranch headquarters of his property. In 1875, there was a diphtheria outbreak. Frederick Bartruff died suddenly, which left his widow, Barbra Bartruff, to run the ranch on her own. Within a year, she had actually married her neighbor, which was John Billmier, who was another German immigrant. Then he took over the homestead of the Prairie Canyon Ranch and added it to his own property. That's a picture of Prairie Canyon Ranch from up on the hill looking west. On the far left, you can see the barn, which was also built in the early 1870s by Frederick Bartruff. It's made out of locally hewn timbers from the Russellville Lumber Company. And then also the stone as a base is a native rhyolite stone, just quarried locally as well, and that barn is still in existence.
I'm going to give them their daily ration.
Douglas County Open Space purchased the ranch from Bob Schultz, who was the former owner. He is currently the lessee of the property, still lives there.
These steers need about 25 pounds a piece, yeah.
Historically, it's been a working cattle ranch, and the county intends to continue to operate it as such.
It's a hell of a working ranch. It works good as a ranch because everything funnels in here to the headquarters, which makes it real easy to rotate the grazing. I went to the National Western and met some Longhorn people and bought 5 or 7 cows. From there I went to a herd of almost 200. It's an easy breed, they take care of themselves, and quite frankly, they just fit this place like no other breed, in my opinion.
Bob had a real interest, a personal interest, in seeing to it that this ranch and all of its historical resources were protected over time. And I think that he saw the best way to do that was to ultimately sell the ranch to the county as a protected open space property. Prairie Canyon Ranch was one of the first properties acquired by Douglas County through the open space program. And it was identified largely because of its wildlife value, because of its being contiguous with Castlewood Canyon State Park, and also it still has some very historic buildings on the property that we consider to be very significant as examples of what homesteading was like in Colorado in the 1870s. The Douglas County residents spoke with their wallets, essentially, in 1994 when they said, we're willing to tax ourselves to protect open space and wildlife habitat and historic resources. These are things that we value as residents of the county and we want to see protected. And so we're willing to pay for it through our tax contribution. We're only going to get opportunities to protect these properties once. After something's developed or after the land use has changed, there's generally no going back for a lot of these historical, archaeological, and wildlife resources. What we're doing is ensuring that that tax dollar is used to acquire the pieces that are most beneficial to the public.
Can you guys tell me what mountain that is? High Speed! High Speed!
We have organized school groups that we take out to the Prairie Canyon Ranch. If school teachers are interested in taking their students to Prairie Canyon, we're more than happy to facilitate that. We hire a naturalist from Castlewood Canyon State Park. Most of the history we interpret ourselves.
He is the homesteader who came out here in 1875. His widow married the guy next door. So they made the ranch double the size of what it was then.
Frederick Bartruff is buried on the property on a hill overlooking the ranch headquarters. We know that some of his daughters were buried there with him. We don't know how many. The marker says Frederick Bartruff and daughters, but we don't know if that's 1 or 2 or 3. We think that some of them might have died as infants and never even been named. So there's a lot we still don't know about them.
I had a feeling when I first discovered this place that it had to be a hell of a winter camp for primitive people. And that it was. There's no question about that. Primitive people certainly walked through here as long ago as 10 or 12,000 years, because the Folsom people could hardly get there without coming through here. Same way with the Clovis people. it was a natural route to anything south of here.
Prairie Canyon Ranch is definitely a crown jewel of the open space program because it contains so many of the things our open space program is looking to protect and preserve. It has critical wildlife habitat. It's actually part of the headwaters of the Cherry Creek. It's adjacent to Castlewood Canyon State Park, so we have another protected area right next to it. And obviously the historic resources epitomize what early settlement would have been like in Douglas County in the 1860s and 70s. And so we feel like with all the growth and development, it's important to preserve some representative samples of what early life would have been like here.
That's about the story here. It was a perfect place. It caught a lot of sunshine in the morning and a certain amount in the afternoon.